Hi, I'm your host, Grad Conn, and we're here to talk about the wonderful world of marketing, and we're going to talk about advertising history. So, got some props today, so we've upgraded the set a little bit. Got a Magic 8 Ball. I'm going to ask the Magic 8 Ball about a series of challenging questions. First question will be, will this be a good episode of the wonderful world of marketing? And the Magic 8 Ball says, signs point to yes. All right. Let me Magic 8 Ball this again. Will people find this educational, informative, and entertaining? Okay, the Magic 8 Ball says yes. That's great. That's awesome. I'm nailing this. Okay, and will I get a great promotion in the near future that will shock my peers and impress my elders? No. Stupid 8 Ball. I don't like that very much. We're actually in a very cool time. We're just about to enter the third era of marketing history. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the first era today. In the next installment, we'll talk about the second era. And that's right. In the third installment, we're going to talk about the fourth era of marketing. No. We're going to talk about the third era of marketing. And we're not even in the fourth era yet, so we don't need to worry about that right now. And then as we sort of keep doing Wonderful World of Marketing episodes, I think we're going to kind of play with this a little bit. I think we're going to kind of go back into these eras. We'll have more and more examples. I'm just going to give you kind of a quick overview today. So the first era of marketing will be origination of really advertising as a creative discipline in the 1920s all the way through the early 1960s. And this era of marketing is the direct marketing era. And it's really where the science of advertising came into fore. And one of the primary practitioners of this was someone named Claude Hopkins. Claude Hopkins wrote the book Scientific Advertising, also wrote another book called My Life in Advertising. They're freely available. They've been out of copyright for many years. I'd encourage you to get a copy and read it. But Claude Hopkins invented orange juice. Okay? Before he came along, people never drank orange juice. And he invented that glass juicer that we're all familiar with. And he proposed the idea that in the morning, you should cut an orange in half, juice it, and then drink it. That's kind of a cool time. He invented effectively single-handedly the women's feminine hygiene market. Women were embarrassed to buy the product. It was difficult to kind of put it just out on the shelves. A really difficult product to sell. And he came up with a campaign where he wrapped, it was Kotex, he wrapped Kotex in brown paper packages, and then ran a whole campaign saying, hey, women, the plain brown paper package in the drugstore is Kotex, and if you talk about the product benefits of Kotex, you can go buy it there. And so women could go in, pick up these plain brown paper packages, and although everybody knew what was going on, the brown paper had a way of masking the embarrassment and of course created an incredible category that's still very vibrant today. And Hopkins, his book was called Scientific Advertising because he believed that advertising was something that needed to produce sales results. He talks often about how advertising really replaced the door-to-door salesman. One of his peers, someone named John E. Kennedy, coined the term advertising is salesmanship in print. It's not the most gender-neutral description of the field, but at the time, salesmanship in print was a really great way of describing it, and they were effectively trying to use mass communication techniques to replace the one-on-one sales approach that had existed for many years. And they were using coupons, they were using split runs, they were using mail-in, and they had a fairly sophisticated system of being able to measure the effectiveness of the advertising because they would measure how many coupons would come in, for example, for a glass juicer for a nickel. This kind of reached its pinnacle in the late 1950s. There's an author named John Caples. All his books are still in print. How to Make Your Advertising Make Money is one of the great ones. And John Caples at that time got to a point where he was doing 17 simultaneous split run tests and would be testing magazine article headlines against each other or newspaper headline articles against each other. And he would actually have ads with different headlines, same body copy, same picture, and he could see what drew the most. And his books today are still classics of the genre. And if you're ever familiar with Outbrain and other sort of tools you see at the bottom of web pages, they're basically running a John Caples game plan. And these practitioners, they were very successful. They made a lot of money for their clients. They made a lot of money for themselves. Both Claude Hopkins and John E. Kennedy worked for Albert Lasker, who basically is credited with inventing political advertising. Kind of interesting. and was also incredibly successful in this field. And so this was an amazing time where great riches were being created and the country was effectively becoming a consumer society. And that in a nutshell is for me what encapsulates the first year of marketing. There's so much more we can talk about here, and there's a lot of depth we can go into, and I think we'll probably do a little bit of that over time. There are some really good resources and a lot of fantastic books to read. I'm going to actually put those links in the description of this particular video, so you can just kind of go and hunt that stuff down on your own. But I encourage you to read it. Stay open-minded, but really think about what were these folks discovering and what did they know that we might have forgotten. In our next episode, we're going to talk about the second year of marketing, what most people think of as the fun period of marketing. We'll come back to that in our next show. See you soon.